None of us are wearing green because we
Nope.
shoot these a week in advance. So you can't necessarily knock us. Oh, wait, no.
You got green on?
Grogu.
Yeah.
Totally planned that.
I don't have any
Totally
green.
planned that. Okay, so now you can hear it here first. By the time you watch this, you have full permission to pin Shrine Meyerberg for not wearing green for something that he recorded 6 days before it was actually St. Patrick's Day.
Anybody wants to go, you know where
You're
to
not
find
gonna-
me.
You're not going to find anyone.
At the movie theater.
Yeah, you'll probably be there.
Oi.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. It is the day where a majority of the world gets blackout drunk to celebrate a 4th century religious man who was only in Ireland because he was sold into slavery. Look that one up, kids. That's a true fact.
That's a great way to put that. Great way.
Yeah.
I'm going to have this green
Remember
beer.
that when you're doing shots
Yeah.
on Friday or something like that. But on that topic, St. Patrick's Day, everyone talks about the greatest Christmas movies of all time.
Which is Die Hard.
Which is Die Hard, obviously. But what are some of the greatest St. Patrick's Day movies? The questions, we ask the real questions here.
That's right.
On this show. The clear answer is Boondock Saints, let's be honest.
Yes.
It is the Die Hard of St. Patrick's Day movies.
So good.
Action. Where's that third movie? We've been wanting the third movie for forever. Stop teasing us. I've been telling this to some friends. They keep previewing these like new Walking Dead spinoffs with Norman Reedus. I'm like, stop doing Walking Dead. That's why he can't do this third Boondock Saints movie that got him out in the woods in Georgia for the past 10 years. He can't do the third Boondock Saints movie. Free Norman Reedus.
It's all right. He's just learning. He's learning
He's
and mastering his technique.
He's gonna show up in Boondock Saints with a crossbow, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, sorry guys, force of habit."
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, okay. But what's one of your favorite St. Patrick's Day movies?
I don't know if it's considered a St. Patrick's Day movie, but the Leprechaun franchise. Yeah, I love Leprechaun. I watched them when I was probably like 9, when I probably shouldn't have been watching them, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is so scary.
Let's move on to the actual thing of the show here, the weekly preview. Let's talk about what is coming out this weekend. We mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. Not a lot of theater stuff. That continues here.
Yep.
So let's just get into it. One of the first things coming out here on Friday, March 18th, is Umma, which I think is Korean for mother. At least that's kind of what the trailer implies. This is essentially a Korean horror movie starring Sandra Oh, who gained a lot of notoriety on Grey's Anatomy, I believe, and has really kind of stepped up her career recently these past few years. Been in some pretty big projects recently.
Yeah,
so.
I'm excited to see this. It almost looks like a folk horror film.
Mm-hmm.
But taking in place in a more modern time, but still, because there is no, like they said, there's no automobiles on their property, there's no cell phones, there's no TV. Like I don't know, looks sweet.
That's a pun.
Ooh,
Why is that a pun?
Because
they have bees and they have a bunch of honey there.
Yeah.
It almost seems like an amalgamation of a bunch of recent horror movies, though. You had Candyman with the bees. You had kind of this mother kind of holding her daughter, like, I wouldn't say against her will, but kind of sheltered from the rest of the world. Yeah. That was like a thing. That was it like the Nicole Kidman movie?
Yeah.
Like a couple months ago. It just felt like it was taking from a lot of horror movies, and I'm not sure if that's necessarily a good thing. It almost felt like no one really knew how to do a horror movie. This almost seemed like the horror movie I would do, in that I have no experience in horror movies, so I just took every piece from like the last 10 that came out recently and just kind of put it all together in like an amalgamation. If anything may save this movie, though, it might be Sandra Oh. She's a great actress. I think she might be worth the watch here.
Yep.
Also coming out that same weekend on Netflix, The Black Crab. This is a Swedish movie, so all subtitles. It is a movie set in a destructive war, kind of one of those not too distant future kind of things. The heroes' only hope to stop this war is they have to skate across this body of water that very rarely freezes over all the way. They say in the trailer, this is like the first time this thing is frozen over in like decades.
Yep.
And if they skate across it, this long ice over body of water, they can actually get behind enemy lines and kind of do a sneak attack and possibly end this war.
Yeah. And yeah, it looks so interesting. I remember they showed a couple of clips of actual soldiers with ice skates on, like skating, and I was trying to like recall. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Like
That's got to be a tactic somewhere, though,
like
right?
yeah, like it's like hard to believe that this is the first film that's like really like focusing on that, but at the same time, is it? I was thinking back and I was like, I've never seen that like depiction before.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. History buffs, shout out to us if you know of any wars that have been fought on ice.
On ice.
It almost kind of seemed like Suicide Squad, but on ice.
Yeah.
Because they even call it a suicide mission.
Yep. And
I don't know. I was getting those kind of
and
vibes.
at first, like, I missed a couple of the subtitles, so I was thinking, like, are there, like, giant crabs under this water? And that's why they're trying to get to, like, a place to kill them. And then I realized, no, it's not about crab people living under the water. Yeah. It's not about that at all.
The operation is called Operation Black Crab, which I'm sure is code for something they might get into the movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
But speaking of water, the other movie coming out this weekend, Deep Water. This one is going straight to Hulu. Stars Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, a drama. I'm getting some real Gone Girl vibes.
Yeah.
Might be because Ben Affleck's in it, but Ben Affleck, his characters need to pick.
Evolve.
That too. But he just has bad luck with picking spouses. His characters do.
Yeah. I don't know what this film is like trying to get out in the trailer. I don't know if there's
is there a murder mystery in there
is there
too
gonna
is
somebody gonna die in this? Is she just doing all this for fun and it's like a game? I don't know.
I will say I love Ana de Armas.
Yeah.
She had like a 5-minute scene in the latest James Bond movie, and she is excellent in it. She is great in Knives Out. She's been great in everything she does, even if she has those small roles. So I think she will be great in this.
Gonna steal the show from Batman?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Also coming out on that same weekend on Amazon Prime is Master. This takes place in a New England college starring Regina Hall. When I watched this trailer, I really, truly kept expecting at one point for it to show executive producer Jordan Peele. This looks exactly like the stuff he would do. To my knowledge, I don't believe he had any production in this, but it really goes to show in these past few years the impact Jordan Peele has had on the horror genre here.
Yeah.
How they've had much more of a smarter social commentary aspect to them, while also still checking that box of it being creepy, which is what a horror movie is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's really great to see. And it's just, as someone who's rewatched Key and Peele, the comedy show, recently, it just blows my mind when you watch some of those early sketches and you're sitting there thinking, like, this guy is going to reinvent the horror genre.
Yeah.
The guy playing Megan right now, just in woman's clothes, is going to win the best screenplay for horror, just best Oscar screenplay in general, which I think is really great. And so, I think that this movie was clearly influenced by that.
Yeah, like just watching it, like you said in the trailer, you get the kind of stylistic view of the characters and how they're interpreting with the room. So some of the Dutch angles that you see, and then like the surrealism where she's like touching the painting and then like pulls at the mouth and something, comes out, and then later you see one of the professors like eating something and it looks like the same thing that was coming out of the mouth of the painting. So like that very stylistic view is like, I don't know, but you're exactly right. I kept thinking like, oh, screenplay Jordan Peele or something Jordan Peele on here, but no.
Compare this to the movie we talked about earlier with Umma. Like Umma, it looked like it was just pulling from everything.
Yep.
This one looks like it kind of stuck to a lane here.
Yeah.
So I think out of these two, not that I'm trying to make it a competition here, but I am. But it does seem like if you're going to do it, you got to pick a lane and stick to it. So I think this one's got a little bit of a head start in that kind of way.
Yes.
And finally coming out on this weekend is Windfall, also a Netflix release. Friend of the show, Jesse Plemons, also starring Lily Collins and Jason Segel. When I first was coming up with this show's outline, I read kind of the preview on the site I was using. The preview, reading it, really intrigued me. Watching the trailer, I can only speak for myself here, it kind of pulled me back a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm wondering where you stand on this.
I'm excited. It reminds me of like I don't want to say like a character study film, but it's going to be these three people interacting in the same environment the whole movie. So you're going to get a lot of character development and kind of, looks can be deceiving. So, maybe through flashbacks or just talking about what one or multiple of them have done in their past that got them to this point. And it looks, I love Jesse. And, I tried reaching out to him to see if we could get a special preview for the show. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I like Jason Seagal, but it's going to be awesome. Jason Segel. Did I say Seagal?
You said Seagal.
Said Seagal.
The distant cousin of Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I really like him. And he's doing kind of more like independent projects now. Not big blockbusters, not ever necessarily that he really did. But
I mean, he did Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which was a great comedy, in my opinion. And I think he's great in it. So he definitely had that potential. But you're right. At a certain point, he just kind of didn't do that anymore. I don't know if that was his choice or people just weren't picking him up.
Because I saw him in that the one where he was the writer.
Yeah.
And I really liked him in that. And that was definitely a smaller film. And I kind of like him in those smaller roles. He gets to do a little bit different stuff. Not just the classic funny guy. So I'm excited to see the film. I think it looks interesting. I hope it's not bad. I really want it to be good. But I know Jesse's going to kill it. Probably get a couple Oscar nods from this, but...
Well, we won't know until next year.
Yeah, we won't know until next year.
Eligible for this year's Oscars. It'll be eligible for next
But
year.
it is nice to see him, too, Jesse, as in a main character. He's a great, great side character in a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows. But he doesn't get that chance to be the guy. And I think in this film, well, he's still kind of the number 2, but he's much more prominent.
Worst case scenario, top 3.
Yeah, worst case, top 3. So...
And with that, like we said before, not a lot coming out in theaters. However, there are still movies in the theaters, specifically the Marshall 6 Theater. It's where we've gone to see Batman. I've seen it twice now. Might even see it a third time here, if I'm going to be completely honest.
My next viewing will be very soon, very soon. But that's a great thing about this week of movies is with all these movies coming out on all those streaming services, now is the perfect time to go see Batman if you haven't. If you haven't seen it, now's your chance. Go see it.
Good time for a rewatch, or maybe check out something that you didn't get a chance to check out in the first place. Maybe would be a good idea as well. You can get some good deals on concessions there, and also we always got to shout out this $5 Tuesdays for everyone, and $6 Thursdays for people who are students and faculty of the school districts here in the area, whether that be the college or the high school. $6 on Thursdays, a little discounted deal there, which is really, really nice. So yeah, go and check out the Marshall 6 Theater here in Marshall, Minnesota. And with that, let's move into some number 1 recommends. I think you went first last time, but I was too lazy to double check, so I'm just going to go first this time. I'm going to recommend a TV show. And I still have yet to start the second season, but I really liked the first season, Superman and Lois. This is a part of the CW universe of DC Comics that they're doing. Some call it the Arrowverse, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of part of that whole universe. Brings in the characters that they've introduced in some of those other shows. This one kind of stands on its own, though. You really don't need to know what's going on in the entire Arrowverse to watch this one, which I think is really nice. But also, I think this is really one of the better adaptations, or specifically live action adaptations of Superman. It shows him at a later stage in the game. He has a family. Him and Lois have been together for a while. He has twin sons that are going through some of the toughest times of high school right now.
Yep.
That on its own is hard enough to juggle. Now being the man of, on top of being the Man of Steel, having to protect the world.
Yeah.
I think ever since they introduced this actress as Lois Lane in one of the other CW shows, she's been one of my favorite Lois Lanes of any version. I think she's great in it. I think they really do the character of Lois great in that. yeah, just overall, I think even if you're not a big fan of the Arrowverse, the CW shows, this one might be worth a check out if you're just kind of a superhero Superman fan.
Yeah.
So that is the one I'm recommending here this week. Ryan, why don't you tell us what do you want people to watch or check out?
All right, so for my film, we are going back quite a bit of years. Well, I just said what's the word?
Recommending?
Recommending. That's the word. Ooh. Wow.
I had to debate there how long I wanted to see him struggle. And I was like, nah, just put him out of his misery.
Yep. I'm recommending one of my favorite movies of all time, Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. We recently watched this film, I'd say about a week ago, and I just remembered how awesome it was. I knew I'd seen it years before and loved it, and I got to watch it again and really get into it even more, and I saw things I missed the first time. This is a film directed by Stanley Kubrick in like the 50s, I want to say. It was before 2001: A Space Odyssey, way before that. Stars Slim Pickens is in there, if you know who he is. James Earl Jones, also known as Darth Vader. I hope that doesn't sound...
That was really creepy in my headset right there.
Cool. Yeah, Darth Vader before he's Darth Vader, so that was cool. And it's all about, the United States. Some rogue bombers are about to drop a bomb on Russia, but if that happens, the self-destruct. It's awesome. And Peter Sellers plays 3 separate characters in the film, which all are hilarious, and the phone conversations between the president and the guy in Russia, so funny. So if you get a chance, check it out. Awesome, wonderful little film.
But that is going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. If you have any of your own recommendations, stuff you want us to check out, be sure to leave those in the comments down below. Again, check out the Marshall 6 Theater for maybe a rewatch or catch something that you haven't seen before. There's still a few in there as well. For myself and Ryan Meyerberg, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the movies.